Are you worried about your properties? Are you worried about your tenants? Are you worried about your tenants upkeeping your properties to your standards? There's no need to worry. I brought you 5 secret tips to help your tenant screening process. Good day, good day, good day. Thank you for clicking on the video. This is Leo here. Just to give you a little background, I'm a real estate investor. I've been investing in real estate since I was 22 years old. I currently do this full-time, been doing it full-time for about 10 years now. So I've been in the arena of management for about a good 16, 17 years, somewhere around there. Dealt with everything from the great tenants, the wonderful tenants, to the nightmare tenants that make you want to run from the business, you know? Well, I'm gonna share some of my experiences and some of my lessons learned so that hopefully you guys won't have to go through the same headaches and frustrations that I've had to deal with. If you want to be a landlord and manage your own properties, then you're going to want to watch this video to help avoid those nightmare situations. Number 1 is punctuality. Now, when you set up your meeting with the applicant, do they arrive on time? Are they early? You know, we always had a thing in the military to hurry up and wait. Or in other words, hurry up and get there ahead of time and sit around and wait. So that always, to me, shows somebody who respects their time and respects other people's time. See, another key, because I don't know if you guys have dealt with this or not, is tenants setting appointments and not showing up. No-shows. One way I've combated this is I've always set up an appointment, let's say at 3 p.m. to show the property, and I'll always tell the applicant, okay, we're set up for 3 o'clock. Give me a call before you head that way we can touch bases and make sure nothing has changed. You don't know how many countless hours that one little phrase has saved me. Number 2, their vehicle condition. When they show up to the appointment, is their vehicle clean? I mean, does it look like they take care of it? Is the inside clean? Does it smell good if you can actually get that close to take a whiff? Typically, if they keep a nice, clean, orderly vehicle, more than likely they keep a nice, clean home as well. So look for the condition of their vehicle. And number 3, do they come in the home picking and complaining? If you have tenants that come in there picking and complaining about this little thing or that little thing, or if you have them coming in there complaining about their past landlord, more than likely this is not going to be the tenant for this property. Normally, after they take a look at the property and they, make a list of 20 things that they'd like to have changed, or the color changed, or the rug replaced, or whatever it is it may be, I'll let them know that, yeah, this probably isn't the property for you. Because I'm telling you, if you put them in your property, your phone calls will never end until they're finally out of your property. Some people you can never make happy. No matter what you do, no matter how far out on the limb you go, they will never be satisfied. And we as landlords, that's not what we want, because that causes for turnover. And in our industry, turnover, when a tenant moves out and you have to fix it all up and get it repaired again for the new tenant, is one of our highest expenses. But there's no need to worry. We've come up with a strategy to help drastically reduce this by going out and looking for those long-term tenants. I'll discuss this strategy with you towards the end of the video. And don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Say number 4, are they in a rush? Do they need to move in fast? Are they paying with all cash and ready to pay today? One thing that I realized and that I have experienced over the years is typically when you have a tenant that comes in there and they have all cash, and maybe they're staying at one of the hotels locally, or maybe even with a family member. I've even had them staying in their cars, and they come in there and they throw it on thick, trying to give you every sob story they could possibly think of. I'm gonna tell you, that's trouble. Don't do it. And sometimes, no matter how much you screen, no matter how much you talk to their references, no matter how much you look at their credit, you still cannot screen how they live unless you do number 5, which is drive by their current residence and see how they're living. What you see is what you get. If they've got cars parked on the grass, if they've got shutters hanging off the house, if the shrubs are overgrown, yep, that's how your house is going to look as well. So number 5, do a drive-by. Also, while on the phone with tenants, I'll remind them to bring their driver's license and their application fee. And if you want to become a little bit more familiar with your state's landlord-tenant laws, go on the internet and just do a simple search for your state and landlord-tenant laws. Typically, they have a handbook that's filled with frequently asked questions. Take a look at it. Credit scores, most people require anywhere from 6 to 620 plus. Even though we do require them to provide their past 2 months' pay stubs, we will verify the deposits through their bank statements. And do a quick eviction check. You do not know how many investors I have come across that have had nightmare tenants that if they had only ran a quick eviction search in their county, they would have seen that this tenant was a professional renter. Most counties and jurisdictions have it to where you can just simply go on there, type in the applicant's last name and their first initial, and it'll pull up any type of suit that that person may have had in the past. We verify with their past landlord. Now, we know that some people are pretty slick, and what they'll do is put their family member or their friend on their application as their landlord or something like that. So we like to try to switch it up on them as well. What we'll do is we'll take their application, and when we call up their landlord, we'll ask their landlord the rent amount. If their landlord is not willing to furnish that amount, we'll throw out a number just to see if the landlord corrects us. But these are just a few little small fail stops that we use in our process. We verify the landlord is the owner of record via the tax assessor's website. And once the tenants are approved, we will let them know that they are approved. However, we will continue to show the property until we have a security deposit in hand. And our security deposits are either cash or money order. We only accept verified funds on all the initial documentation and move in. You don't want somebody to move into your house and they've given you your security deposit and first month's rent with a bounce check, because now you have to get them out. And man, oh man, that's months and months of lost revenue. And we do like to stack our leases. So if we have 20% of our lease renewals coming up in the month of January, we may try to spread them out and maybe offer people 15 to 18 month leases instead, so that we can spread out those move out dates over the summer months, which are better months for our maintenance crews and to be positioned better for more tenants on the market. Evictions, evictions, evictions. One thing I will tell you is that starting out, I used to do evictions every month. I don't know, 2-3 evictions every single month, simply because I was not using the process that I'm sharing with you guys today. And that is never do your own evictions. No matter how good at them you think you are, and I've done dozens of them, dozens and dozens and dozens of evictions. No matter how good you think you are, one day you will make a mistake. And one day I made a mistake, a very small technical error. However, that cost me to give back the tenant their security deposit, even though they had broke the lease, which is perfectly fine. It was a lesson learned, and it only cost me a security deposit. However, the lesson that was learned there was a lesson that had been told to me over and over and over again. Do not do your own dispossessories. Hire a professional eviction service to do it for you. And right before I hand the keys over to the tenants, I always let them know that, hey, look, this is a beautiful home. Take care of the home. This is a beautiful neighborhood. Take care of the neighborhood. No drugs, no craziness. And last, but definitely not least, make sure you pay your rent on time. Rent is what makes the world go round. Here we go, the bonus material. The long-term tenant strategy. Now, what you'll find a lot of people doing is sticking to the traditional, hey, you know, the tenant must have, you know, 3 times the amount of the monthly rent, 620 credit score, been at their job for at least 2 years, no evictions, no felonies, right? What we realized during the last downturn was that our tenants that stuck around the longest were our tenants who didn't necessarily have the best credit scores. They had great paying jobs, but the credit was off just a little. But then we also noticed our tenants with great credit, after they lived in our property for about a year or two, went out, found a home of their own, qualified for a mortgage, and left our property, and now we had to turn around and fix it up for the new tenant, right? Turnover. So what we started to do was not weigh the credit as heavily. I said, I'm gonna give it a shot. Give somebody with a 500 credit score a chance to move into the property and see what happens. Great jobs, great work history, clean cars. Man, they stayed in the property and it turned me on to something. And I said from now on, you know what? We're not going to weigh credit as heavily. And that's what we've stuck with. And we have tenants that stayed 3, 4, 5. We have one tenant right now that's in one of our properties that's been in our property for over 10 years. Why? Their credit score. They have great jobs, both of them great jobs. Have great work history. No evictions, no felonies. No evictions tell me that they pay their rent. No evictions, no felonies. And they've been in there chugging away. So if you want long-term tenants, you may want to rely on that credit score a little less. And some of that money that we do save, because we're reducing our turnover rate, we put into our Webull account. Yep, that's right, our Webull account.
Get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 on Webull when you open up an account and deposit $100. There's 0 commissions for stocks, ETFs, and options, 0 contract fees for options, and 0 deposit minimums for brokerages and IRAs.
Get your 2 stocks today. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below, and I will do my best to get back to you. Share, like, and subscribe. And as always, be good, do good, and take care.